So who are we creating with, right? Who are the other parties?
Yeah, how does this work?
First of all, there is a prime creator who created this universe, and that's the creator of nature and the cosmos and all the dimensions,
Mm.
from the physical all the way to the highest spiritual dimensions. This was created by a creator being, um, just like us, but we are guests here in this universe.
We humans, because I was reading today,
No, no, we are not human.
we are not human. What are
No, no,
we?
that's just the vehicle that we are driving right now.
We're a
So
multi-dimensional. We are like,
Our,
yeah, we're so big, Sherry. We are so
our,
big.
our, our inner being is not human because you can have an incarnation as an alien, right? You can be a Pleiadian or you can be a Syrian. So your inner being is not really human.
we're in a human shell.
Yes, it's a vehicle to get around in the physical realm. Your body is a vehicle, but you are not your body, right? Do you understand that?
Right. Well, what about all the other beings that are roaming around? One of the things I read today, it said there's only 8% of us, and this is Penry. He said we're 8% human, 32% are star people, and 60, whatever the other percentages are.
So that relates to the fact that we are hybrid humans. We are not pure mammalian beings. We are hybrids, and there is genetic material from reptilians and many other beings from the universe. Some say 22 different races. I can't verify that, but
So I can
that's
I
the
can
way.
insert a little something maybe that'll help.
Yeah.
Something that George always had shared is that we are fractals of source. We are like each cell has your DNA in it, and each cell can create another you. So you as a physical being have cells, trillions of them. You are a fractal. Your cells are a fractal of you, and we are a fractal of of source. We have that spark, that soul spark inside. As hidden as it is for most people, when you seek within, when you just really dig into yourself and ask yourself, that you tell yourself, I want to know what is the truth, and you keep asking, it reveals itself to you. But so I was going to overlay something too about the notion of co-creating. Is we're in an ether, in an ether soup of we're in the fabric of the universe. It's full. It's got, just like sound waves are carried on air, right? This consciousness is carried on some kind of substrate. Have you
No,
thought
no,
about that?
no. Consciousness is the substrate.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, that's
But
right.
I didn't finish my
Yep.
answer to her on the co-creation
Thank you.
idea. So we are creating on many levels because the you that you are is not just the one in the physical body. That's just a very small part of you. All of you cannot come into the physical body. So there is only a small spark of you that created this physical body, and your higher self or your inner self has concurrent lifetimes. it's living maybe hundreds or thousands of concurrent lifetimes on different places, different times, and different planets. So if you look at it from that point of view, your higher self is in co-creation with the universal being. And you can have your own ideas, you know, you can create whatever you want, you are not limited. But there are certain rules that, you know, everybody has to follow. And so your higher self is in co-creation with the universal prime creator. And not just you, but everybody. I mean, we're talking about zillions of beings who are in co-creation with the prime creator. And prime creator created the basis of the universe, which is a light-based universe. So we are creating everything out of light.
And so we're light, right? We are that same light that we create with.
Yes, we are light, but that's on a lower level. On the highest level, we have no material or energetic form at all. You are pure awareness.
So we're just energy, like
no, not even energy.
Not even energy, just thought.
Energy is already a lower manifestation, because you have created, when you see light, you have created something, right? So it's not what you see, it's by way what you see with. That's who you are. It's your awareness, and you don't need eyes to see. You don't need ears to hear. These are only filters that they filter out a great majority of the visible spectrum, for example. Do you understand this? That we are only seeing a very small portion of the electromagnetic spectrum, which is a frequency domain.
And where does our mind body come in? What is the brain? How is it in relation to the eyes and ears and the other senses that we have, like the understanding?
The brain is the interface that your soul interfaces with to control the human body. It's not, yes, the brain controls the autonomic functions of the human body, but it also allows you to interface with the body and control it in the physical.
So
because
our creation
you're not really here.
That's a lot.
Is that too much?
Because I'm really super novice. Like I don't, we had a meeting last week and I've been spiraling ever since. So, but I'm
Okay, so
curious,
tell me a little
but
bit,
like, you're blowing my mind.
Okay, tell me a little bit about how much spiritual search have you done?
Well, I grew up in a very religious situation, Christian, and my family thinks I'm already a Looney Tune a little bit because I think I'm just kind of out there. But yeah. I've always felt like there's something more. I've always felt like there is, I don't understand the whole religion and all that, because it seems like that's holding people back sometimes, and people fight over it. If it's all great and wonderful and true, why is everybody fighting, you know?
Yes, yes.
And so then I started searching, trying to find more spirituality. Then I started, studying a little bit about quantum physics, and that was kind of really fascinating to me. And then I'm just trying to put pieces together, but it's kind of scary. And sometimes, when it gets to be too much, you want to run back to what you know. So I'm just
Yes.
really trying to understand, like, how do I fit in the big scheme of things? I kind of like feeling like that there is some benevolent being that's watching over us and will help us when we need it. And this
Yes.
stuff is kind of scary. Like, where's the cavalry when, especially everything that's going on in the world today with the virus, and
We are
we are the
we are,
cavalry.
we are the cavalry.
I feel like I'm not good enough to save me.
Yeah,
So how
no.
do we unite? How do we help each other understand who we are and what
Uh,
our place is and how we can affect change of what's going on planet Earth right now?
you have to understand who you are. Uh, you are, when you are awakening, you came to this planet to awaken, and when you are awakening, you are actually helping the planet to awaken, because the work that you are doing on yourself is the work that you have come here to do, because nobody can work on other people, and and
Yeah.
and it's and it's not your job. So you can only work on yourself, and that is the work and your contribution to the awakening of the planet.
You're
So
already asking the right questions. You just have to let your being is like, you know, as a block of ice melts, more and more is revealed. So you as a being are self-awareness, and you are melting yourself. And so layer by layer, like the water just drips off, and you're opening more to more awareness and more of what you're asking. So you're asking all the right questions. Just listen to your heart and your gut, and the
Well,
answers come.
so
okay, so for you to understand more of what we are talking about, including George and other people in this group, you have to realize who you are. And I can explain it to you very quickly, but you will need to think about it for a few weeks or months, or maybe even meditate on it. What does that mean? So, and I have already mentioned it, that the real you is not a physical being, and it's not an energetic being. The real you is pure soul or spirit. There is a difference there, but right now let's not go there. So soul, your true self is awareness. So are you aware of your awareness?
I'm aware of my quest. I'm aware, like, to me, by definition, soul always meant to me the sum total of my body, my mind, my spirit, my emotions, my essence, my chemistry. To me, the soul was kind of like the whole of it. And so from what you're telling me, my soul is different than that. My soul is interplanetary, or just nothing, just nothing and everything. And I'm trying to wrap my head around that.
You can think about it that way, but right now that doesn't help you. Right now, it helps you to think about it separately. Your body, your mind, and your emotions and your awareness uh, are different. They are different functions at the very least, right? I'm not saying they are not part of you. They are part of you, but it's not the eternal you, because all of these things will disappear, right? Your body is not eternal. So I am talking about the eternal part of you, which is the awareness. And let's focus on that. And let's say that everything else is not you. Okay, just for the purpose of me explaining to you how to find you. Okay, so
Okay.
just for this purpose, let's say that you are the awareness and everything else is not you. So right now, can you find your awareness?
You mean in this moment?
Yes, right now. There is only this moment ever.
So they say. Um,
Well, have you ever been?
I
Uh,
haven't been completely there where I felt like, aha, this is it. I haven't been there.
no, I mean, have you been outside of the now?
I don't think so.
No, it's always now, and it's always going to stay there. So this now, with the awareness of your existence and the now, this is you. This is the eternal you that's never gonna die.
Something you can do, Sherry, is close your eyes, do some breathing, and just say the word right now, right now, right now, right now. And eventually you get to the place where you're in that now. It's kind of beyond time, that's kind of idea.
Yeah. Well, I know people have written about it. Eckhart Tolle, he's always talking about.
Okay, so but let's not get sidetracked, because
Okay.
I want you to really experience this now. I would like you to experience your awareness consciously now. So are you aware of your awareness?
Well, I do feel very present right now. Like nothing else. I mean, I don't.
You feel present when you do
That's good.
dance.
Yes.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
like everything else
No,
in
no,
the world is
no, no,
gone.
let's stay here,
Right.
please. Let's just stay here. I am trying to show her something. Let's
I'll be
not
quiet.
go into dancing and.
Well, that's what I do. And so he was, I think, trying to help me because I do feel like I go to a different place. I'm very.
Yes, yes, you can do that dancing. You can do that doing anything. I am a car mechanic. I can be in the now, very present when I am fixing a car. So it doesn't matter what you do, but I would like to point out to you your own awareness. So what does this mean to you? This word awareness.
Well, it's got a lot of meaning to me because awareness means to me a knowing, an acceptance, and understanding,
Mm-hmm.
right? It
Yes.
feels
So
like
yeah,
everything, kind of.
not everything. The awareness is by which you know, you are aware of things, right?
Hmm.
So uh, that's your awareness. And what is it? Can you look at your awareness and tell me what is it?
Um, it it's me.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
It's me.
Yes, it's that simple. Yes.
Then
Yes.
how do I just?
But it has powers. So you are correct, but it has powers, and it has the powers of observation.
Hmm.
It's the witness throughout your whole life, is the witness of your life. So we can call awareness like a pure witness.
Is it so? It's the same. The witness, the observer, the thing that's always with me because it's me.
Yes, the knower, the perceiver, everything you hear, everything you see, it goes to the same place, and that is your awareness. So, but what is it? Huh?
um,
What is it? What is it made of?
well, that's what I want to know. I feel like I don't know. What is
Well,
it?
I am asking you because you have to look inside. If I just tell you, I tell you words, that doesn't do much good for you. You have to look inside and find out, what am I? Who am I? What am I? And the more you meditate on this awareness, meditating on awareness, the more you do this, the more clear it becomes who and what you are. And you are the divine being. You are a divine being, and no one has created you. You are an eternal being. You can change your bodies, you can even change your mind, but the awareness will always be there as you.
So if I was never created, so see, this is kind of a mind blower. So if I was just, we're infinite, like we've always existed in this awareness, in this knowing, in this not even energy or frequency, we're just there, and how did that come to be? How, if we were not created, doesn't everything have to be created at some point?
No, not everything. The divine realm, you could say the kingdom of God, was never created. It's always existed because that's who we are. It's not a place. It's a state of being. So we emanate from that divine unity. We are all extensions of the Supreme Being.
And what the Supreme Being, so is it like the Supreme Being is a salt shaker and we're the grains of salt inside it, like we're all in one, but we're separate?
No, we are like the sunlight emanating from the sun.
Oh.
Yeah. And
Well,
and how big is the sun? So let's think about the sun a little bit. How big is the sun? Is the sun as big as the ball that you see, or is the sun as big as how far the sunlight has reached?
I would agree with the latter.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's because you can feel the rays. I mean, we can feel it here on Earth, and it's however many light years away.
Yes, yes. So when you look into the sky, it looks like the sun is just a ball in the sky, but
Right.
not really, because we can feel the sunlight
On our skin.
and it goes millions of light years in every direction. So it's not just coming to the Earth, but it goes all over the universe. So every star is like that. And all the starlight is completely intertwined with each other.
Real,
So
all
there is,
with us and the sun and all the planets, it's all connected. Like,
yeah, through sunlight, isn't it? Because the starlight reaches all over the universe, right? So it looks like we are separate, but really we are one. So we have individuality, but we are infinitely connected with each other. So it's not just oneness or manyness, because some schools of spirituality, they teach oneness. And then they think that, oh, you just become you lose your individuality. I wouldn't recommend it. No, it's good to have individuality, but you can still be connected with every other individual. And then you have oneness and you have individuality at the same time. It's not one or the other. The universe is so amazing and so mysterious that you can have seemingly contradictory things existing at the same time.
Well,
And
is that
that's-
part of the polarity of this planet? Isn't it? Aren't we supposed to experience polarity in all things in this experience?
Yes, we are here. Yes, we are here to experience polarity. That's why we forget that we are divine. You have to forget, otherwise you can't experience all these negative things. So we can do that too. You can forget and then you can remember again. And that's your spiritual journey, to remember yourself again from the state of forgetfulness. You remember again who you were before you forget.
So, la 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 la. So, how do you? Could you speak to me? And I'm sorry, I feel like I'm taking up all your time. I'm loving it, but
Oh, no.
what? How do you see everything that's playing out right now in the world? What is this just about? Is supposed to help us, more of us, awake and become aware,
Yes.
or
Yes,
do you
even the negative things are helping us if you use it correctly. Many people will fall asleep even more because they believe in the negative, dark things. Many of them will be deceived, but it's not necessarily that you have to fall asleep. You can wake up in spite of everything.
We're just
so
going to insert, we might drop off in about 5 minutes, so I'll just restart again.
okay.
Okay, fine.
So what got you on this journey? Like, were you always just questioning and knowing, or did you have a life
Yeah.
event?
Pretty much, I was always searching for truth and reality, what's real. Yeah.
And all you did was this deep meditation to get you to this place of awareness and knowing, and that's how you get your answers?
No. I did a lot of different kinds of meditations, and I checked out a lot of different spiritual paths. Yeah, that would be too much to get into right now, but I am just giving you the end result of my realization.
A lot of work.
Yeah, I know I'm feeling overwhelmed, and I'm just getting started on this.
Okay, so baby steps. It's okay. It's okay. You're doing great. You're asking the right questions, and that's very nice.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
Well, the other
It-
thing you could also say to yourself that you already have all the answers within you, because you wouldn't ask the question if the answer was there in front of you. You wouldn't be asking the right question. So you can kind of, that's sort of that's my self-encouragement that I use for myself, is like, okay, I place that thought that I have all the answers. I am source. I'm co-creating. So how do you tune into your own, your own awareness? And you just listen and wait and listen and keep asking. That's what works for me.
Well, sometimes I get impatient, like I want it now.
Yeah, well,
But I
no, it's a very long journey, at least for me. And everybody's looking for this lightning style instant awakening. Well, for me, it was 20 years hard work. It wasn't like that, what people imagine. So
So,
you have to keep asking the right questions and look for answers. And when you get the answers, then you have to digest it and make it a part of yourself.
so are you at peace with your knowledge? Your
Yes,
know?
yes.
So fear is not in your vocabulary at all.
Fear, I know fear. I have lost a lot of my fear, but that doesn't mean I don't have any now. The difference is I can look at it as an observer.
Mm.
It doesn't run my life. And I got rid of 90% of it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well,
It's interesting that a lot of people are facing their fears right now.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's
what,
coming up for a lot of people.
yeah.
So what I was teaching you earlier about awareness, this is how you get rid. So where we were is that if you meditate on your own self, your own awareness, the more you meditate, the more centered you will feel, and and you will get this very stable feeling within yourself, and um, the more you do that, the more you realize what I was saying, that you are eternal and nothing can ever hurt you. Nothing can kill you, nothing can really hurt you. They can hurt your body and your mind, but not the real you. So that will get rid of 90% of the fear immediately.
And that makes sense. I mean, I've not ever been afraid of dying because I guess I've always felt like you don't really die, you just
No,
change.
nobody dies. Bodies die.
But
Bodies die. Yeah. And we are carrying many bodies, not just the physical. We are carrying astral bodies, um, you know, energetic bodies, light bodies, spiritual bodies. So we have to die on many levels before you arrive uh, at the place where you don't have a body.
so can I ask, because I kind of came in when you were talking about this and I kind of want to make sure I understood, but you said, I think you guys were talking about the grid when you die. You know, you always hear go towards the light because your loved ones will be there and Jesus will be there and there will be, you know, angels singing. But in Penry, he said, no, you go look for the hole in the grid. And you said, yeah, that's good. But then you still might not get past. What was the other barrier, or what were you talking about?
You will still be in the Orion empire, and more than that, you will still be in the matrix.
Even if you get through the grid?
Yes,
So where do we
this is
go then?
multi-dimensional matrix.
That, this is new learning for me too. He's reminding me of how I got in a belief structure, but it's good.
So
Yes.
what do you recommend if we're getting through the grid, we're still in a multi-dimensional matrix? What is our optimum goal in passing through to the next stage of wherever we go?
Well,
Like,
yes. So what I recommend is what George Kavasilas recommends, is that you go into your heart center, not to go outside through the pineal gland. See, most meditators, they meditate on the pineal gland where they can access other dimensions and other realities. But most of those paths lead you into the false light paradigm.
what'd you say? The false light
The
paradigm?
false light, yeah, false light paradigm. Have you listened to George Kavasilas?
I have not. No.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I said
Well,
I'm a novice. Like,
I've
I,
got his book. You can borrow my book that
okay.
he wrote a while
I
back.
I just started listening to Wes Penry because Jimmy just sent me some stuff from
uh,
him. So he'd mentioned George, but I hadn't got any of his stuff. So you
yeah,
said the pineal gland takes us to the false light, but our heart center takes us to our awareness of everything.
yes, it takes you to the organic paradigm. There is the false light and the organic light. So the heart center takes you to the organic paradigm, and the pineal gland takes you to a false light paradigm, which is a mental reality. That's why the pineal gland is in the environment of the mind, whereas the organic reality emanates from the heart. So
So, uh, so because I always see, I was raised that there's no reincarnation. You just are born, you live a good life, you die, and you get to go to heaven. If you get a good life, you go to hell. If you don't, and then I came along, and everybody's like, "Oh no, we do get other
yeah,
opportunities to come to this life, have more experience, gain more knowledge, blah blah
yes,
blah." But you're saying we that's a good thing or a bad thing that we reincarnate?
but depends on what you want to do. maybe you need some reincarnations to have more learning experiences.
Well, sometimes I feel like, why am I not getting this? Why am I still having this experience? You know, it's confusing.
Because you need it. You're having this experience because you need it. So yes, it's very tempting to jump to the end result and, oh, I just want to be done with it and get to some end destination and forget the whole thing. But it's never going to happen.
Yeah.
And if it does happen like that, it's a trap,
Hmm.
because life is an eternal journey of evolution, and it's a spiritual evolution.
Mhm. Yeah, I've always felt that. I've always felt really
Yeah.
strong connection with my spirit. You know, that's that that bigger than what we think we are feeling. I've always had.
Oh yeah, you are much bigger than what what can exist in your body.
Yeah.
So and when you die, you will expand into a higher dimension where you will feel that, but you're still not completely home. When your physical body dies, you will still have an astral body. Have you
I have not ever had.
have you had dreams like lucid dreams while
Yeah.
sleeping?
I hardly ever dream, but if I do, it's very real. And sometimes it'll stay with me through the day, what I dreamed about. Um,
Okay, so that's the astral dimension. It
really.
yes,
So when I have that experience, that was what I
yes,
traveled in the night.
yes, that's an astral projection. Your spirit has projected itself into the astral dimension and had an experience.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, but notice when you are there, you are still you, and you are
Mhm.
still observing from the same perspective you are observing from now, right?
Yeah, I've always felt like it was me. I was just having another spirit someplace
Yeah.
else.
Okay, so that's your awareness traveling through these different dimensions, but it's still the same you.
And so all these parallel lives or concurrent experiences we're having, they're all happening all at the same time. So my question is, if we're doing this all at the same time, why do we have to keep reincarnating if we're doing it all at the same time anyway? You know what I mean?
Well, yeah,
have,
but
I have an idea.
it,
It's kind of like
it's
we go through
it,
experiences through a time.
it it depends on from what level you are looking at it. Because if you're looking at it from the physical realm, then it seems to be linear. But
Yeah.
if you're looking at it from a higher perspective, from your higher self perspective, then it's happening at the same time, because time is malleable, and the time that we experience in the physical realm, it might not be like that in any other dimension.
Oh,
So, but time is just a mental concept. If you notice, you are always in the now. You have never been in the future. You have never been in the past. It's always now, right?
well, see, that's really hard to wrap my head around because I know as I've given birth to children and now they're grown up, they, how
Yes,
does that not be a past in that?
so there is process in the now, but you can never be in the past or in the future.
Oh, well, yeah, okay. Okay.
See, they put a mental trick on us when they taught us about time. Like, okay, it's 5 o'clock now, and then an hour later it's 6 o'clock. This is just a mental construct. When you forget all of that, then what's happening?
I'm thinking about what's happening to me in this moment.
Yeah, you're just experiencing the now moment, and that's eternal. It goes on
Yeah.
forever. There is no starting point or ending point. So we are actually living in eternity now. And even when your body dies, you will still be in the now.
Right, because I will never be destroyed. I will always be this awareness.
Yes. Maybe a more expanded version of it,
Well,
because
hopefully I'll be better in each experience. I'm getting better, hopefully.
Well,
yes, of course.
wouldn't you agree that, um, or that this idea of co-creating, you know, after we go, you are still creating. You're still co-creating, just in a different format. You're in a different game,
Yes, of course.
right?
Yes, you are always co-creating with your peers and the universal creator.
Right. There's no end to the game. It doesn't. Obviously you can.
There is an end to this game, but there is no end to life.
So that's what. Yeah, that's what I mean. Right.
Yeah, and life is greater than God's. It's not that some God created life. Gods exist within life.
That's true. Yep. It's very deep uh, contemplation.
I'll say,
Well, it's just right now. We just only have this moment, right? This moment,
yeah.
and that's being present, and that's being conscious. It's being aware. I wanted to just share that my awareness is, what am I feeling? Is my body tingling? Are my hands? Do I feel my heartbeat?
I do. My
That's
heart is
Yeah.
pumping.
I'm just saying, even through, like, when I go to bed, I feel the pulse going through my toes. Oh, someone's coming in.
Oh, cool. So, can we talk a little bit about the AI? Um, I know it might be a little off topic, but
No, that's a good one.
I yeah, I want to talk about how that connects with our current now, our current real time, what's happening.
So what's your specific question? Like, how do,
Well, like, when you were doing an interview, if I have you as the right person, I was listening to you interviewing an Asian looking man in physical form, but he was in AI, and you and some other gentleman were
No,
talking.
this isn't Alfred.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I
This
thought
is
so. I
a
had.
friend from a WhatsApp group that I came into through George Kavasalis. So
Oh, okay.
if you have
Okay.
WhatsApp, you can be in that room. I think even you started it, I believe.
yes, I did.
Yeah, good for you.
So yeah,
Yeah,
I have WhatsApp, so I don't think you sent me the link to that. So who are you then? Sorry, but
This
who am
is
I?
yeah. I was going to ask the person who came in on the iPhone. Maybe just identify yourself. If you could say hello.
Excuse me, yes, off mute. This is Gilbert.
Oh, hey Gilbert. Thanks for joining us. Okay.
Yeah,
We're,
thanks for having me.
okay, so uh, what's the question again?
Who are you?
Who am
and
I?
and how do I get into your WhatsApp thing?
Um,
I'll give you the link. It's just a chat room that kind of runs along. There's a lot of people from all
yeah,
over the
if you have
world. So
connection with her, if you have connection with her, just send her a link.
yeah, I will.
Because otherwise I would have to get her information to sign her up. Okay, yeah, so
So, are you familiar? Have you looked into what's going on with AI? What's your take on all that, and where are we going with that?
well, I had a lot of experience with AI.
I'm sorry, you cut out a little bit. You say you have or you have not?
I had some experience with AI,
Oh,
and there are cybernetic beings uh, pretending to be humans on this planet. So uh, whoever has the iPhone, uh, please mute your. Um,
I keep muting you, Gil.
Okay. Am I making noise?
it keeps popping in every time there is a noise. It keeps popping up on the screen here. Your iPhone.
Thanks.
so are these cybernetic beings? Are they benevolent or are they
No,
trying to cause havoc?
no. AI is the biggest problem in the universe.
The biggest drama?
Problem.
Oh, problem.
It's a negative entity. I heard there are good AIs, but I never met any. Yeah, it's taking over planetary systems, and it's working together with the false light paradigm. The false light paradigm is basically the Christian God.
And you said they're taking over the Christian God?
No, working together. The artificial intelligence is working together with the false light paradigm. And that God is the creator of religions. All the major organized religions on the planet were created by this false light, false God. Okay, can we mute the iPhone again, please? Because I kind of like to see her when I'm talking to her.
Okay. Well, I'm trying to get my video to come up. I can understand what you're saying. And I've noticed, I've had some experience with AI also, and it seems like the experiences that I had, that yes, there's AI, you say, from other gods like Shiva, for instance, the Indian, the Shiva god. There's also AI from Antarctica that was part of this planet. There's AI from the Palladians. There's AI from the Greys. There's several
Yes,
kinds of AI that, and it has to do with, I think, a person or the intelligence without emotion, their motive. You
yes,
heard me, the motive is the means is the end. And it seems like all these different AIs and all these different groups, these three-letter groups in this world, are playing, literally playing with an AI intelligence. And there's the gray AIs, there's the AI from Antarctica, and there's the Palladian AI. And I think it has to do with a person's ability to discern and make peace with themselves and how they relate to their own intelligence, their own intelligence that carries emotion, that has the power of emotion. Because AI, that's what they stand in line for, either the fear and or they don't have the ability, they have the intelligence, but they don't have the emotion. And that's what they're here for.
yes. So they have logical intelligence. They don't have emotional intelligence. So they don't have empathy for other beings. And that's a problem because there is nothing to stop them from causing harm.
Do they enter beings like myself, those of us that are in a human carrier? Can they get inside someone's vehicle like that?
You mean the AI or other
Yeah.
spirit?
The AI, can they get into someone's Earth vehicle?
I think uh, I think it can, but it's easier if they install some kind of a technology in your body, like electronics, like a chip or a nanobots or whatever. They need like a electronic or mechanical interface to communicate with you or to possess your body. But organic beings, they can do that without any technology.
I was going to insert a little bit on that. The I can the AIorganization.com, Cirrus Para
Yeah,
has talked about that, and the actual the electronic equipment does create a field, and
yeah,
the 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 phone
yes.
can generate a field that does affect us without
Mhm.
us even knowing it.
Yes, but that's not like direct possession where they can control your mind uh,
No, right.
continuously. So
Well, there's competing AIs, and I think it's just a war for our consciousness, and they want it's competing, and they want to assimilate us. It's what they're
yes,
headed,
yes,
the singularity. It's that simple.
yes. Do you guys watch Star Trek?
Sure. The Borg.
Yeah.
No? Okay. Star Trek is amazing. It tells you everything the way it is out there. You think it's sci-fi, but it's actually what's happening out there. And there is many episodes on the Borg. which a Borg is like a cybernetic organism that is part human, part machine. And if you watch the Star Trek, then you will get a good feel for what AI is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Even, have you ever heard of the Cosmic Agency channel at all?
Cosmic Agency.
Yeah, this is it's Cosmic Agency. It's they have a YouTube. It started out in Spanish about 3 years ago, and what happened is apparently a group of Pleiadians are typing through Discus, that private service, that encrypted service, and they are actually communicating via typewritten form. So it's not a channeling or anything like that. I find
So
some
wait,
of the,
wait, is it a chat room or what is it?
no, this is a YouTube channel.
I
It's
know,
a
but if they are typing, how do you, because there is chat on YouTube.
right,
How-
but no, they have a private room on a platform called Discus, which is an
oh,
it's an encrypted, it's very secure uh, system.
yeah. So
And
how do you know it's the Palladians are talking or somebody's pretending?
well, you can be the judge yourself.
Yeah.
There is, you know, yeah, I question it. It could be an AI, it could be a bunch of different things, but if you can go look at I've gone through literally all the materials like George's is, and there's a lot of pertinent information that you wouldn't get other places. Um, and you can kind of tell that it seems fairly genuine. It's worth looking at some of those. You know,
Yeah.
I try not to believe anything or get too sucked into any particular uh, information line, but
Yeah.
I find
Oh,
that, you know, I find it's very interesting. They talk about things like stellar navigation, and they even admit that they're in the matrix. They even talk about themselves being in a matrix, and supposedly
yeah.
they're fifth density type beings and so on.
And they are computerized, just like the Borg.
Could be, yeah. Yeah, they're definitely, oh, they talked about the idea of a holographic society. So that's, they
They,
talk
they
about,
talk they talked about that.
yeah, having their society is more holographic in a sense that,
That's
yeah,
the false light paradigm.
yeah, it could be, right. It's just another reality somewhere.
It's a holographic. Yeah, that's the false light.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I still find it of interest and somewhat valuable. Something that I'm going to talk to, I have an interview set up. I'm starting my channel up again, and it's titled Interviewing the Interviewer. I'm going to attempt to get people who do a lot of interviews and chat with them. And Alfred Weber from Vancouver, BC is going to be my first guest. So I'm going to talk with him. So if you have any questions or things, and I will ask him about the false light and you know, I thank you for reminding me of George's those basic things that George does teach.
Yeah, it's good to know what's going on out there. And I had some run-ins with the false light paradigm, and I actually had to disqualify one of my longtime gurus um, because of it. And when I found George's teachings and found out about the false light, I simply posed this question to my guru: um, are you in line with the original organic light of life? Uh, then you can stay. If not, you have to leave. This is what I told her, and she had to leave. So
Wow.
So this comes back to the sovereignty issue that we were going to talk about today, that your sovereign free will is paramount in this universe. That is like the most important thing and the most powerful thing you have.
Would you also include your ability to have a clear view of your individual reflection and the knowingness that there is no separateness between you and your creator? And if anybody gets in the way and tries to create a separateness or tries to intervene in your how would you say, your relationship with your creator, then it also seems like they have no choice but to fall away and be an observer. Either they could be banished, they could fall away. They can ban. You ask them to just to banish themselves, rather than put in any energy into, like you say, another illusion of a matrix. If there is no separateness, and your relationship with is multidimensional, then it appears to me, from my experience, that all these other different frequencies and energies that are would like to have the emotion, be able to emote into the ever-present reflection of your sovereign reflection with your creator, they can't get in the way. You're covered through the Holy Trinity. You're covered through your own remembrance. You're covered by your ability to extend a heartfelt co-creation of Father, Son, Holy Spirit relationships. And there's nobody in any universe. I
take it you're not familiar with George Kavasilas' teaching.
George who?
George Kavasilas.
Was he ever in Alaska?
I'm sorry?
What, did he ever practice in
No.
Alaska?
No, George is from Australia. He's been at this a long time and has a really great teaching and so forth. Gilbert, I've got his book and materials. I'll send you some of his stuff. But basically, what the assumption here is that most people and most realities are based on a false light construct, which is the God virus, which is seeking outside of ourselves versus going through our heart, soul, essence as the organic universe. So he talks about a synthetic universe and the organic universe.
I understand what you're saying.
Right. I'm going to mute. So like this.
I totally understand what you're saying, and it is an organic, personal relationship, and it is the ability to get past not only one's memory of their creation, one's memory of their magnet into this, their magnetic pull into this world, into this this chosen, our sovereign chosen level of being.
Let me just insert if the call cuts off, just sign in again. Take a 30-second or a minute break and sign in again because it's probably going to cut off shortly. It's the fastest 40 minutes I've ever gone through. So.
I know. I was just thinking that.
Okay,
What happened?
so let's just stick with sovereignty.
Okay.
Because what does it mean to you? Let me just ask everybody, what does it mean to you guys that if I say you are sovereign, what does it mean to you?
I can go a little bit. Basically, when you declare your sovereignty, you are declaring your soul essence as sovereign amongst all beings, amongst all universes. You are.
Yes, but what does the sovereignty mean? And it's not just your soul essence; it can be your physical being.
Yeah. It's a good question. It's a feeling, but I can't answer it. I don't know what it really means. It's more as a feeling.
So,
I'd like to try.
anybody else?
To answer it.
Go ahead.
It's an there is our essence, our ability to return to essence from whence we came, and our ability to have the reconciliation of yes and no, our ability to stand tall and be a co-creative, heartfelt connection gives us the ability to stand in our own individual reflection and partake in the oneness of partake and co-create into the oneness of essence, being sovereign to be able to do that, given a free will to do that.
Yes, so your sovereignty is your free will, right?
Okay.
So to me, sovereignty, not to me, this is legally, this is what it means. A sovereign being makes law. Now,
Okay.
think about how powerful that is. You are the one who makes the laws for you. And there is only one restriction: you cannot hurt other people, other beings with your laws or actions. So basically, sovereignty means total freedom.
As long as you don't hurt anybody else.
Exactly. So everybody has total freedom with one criteria, that you cannot hurt another. That is the only limitation. Otherwise, you have complete freedom.
I agree.
That's sovereignty. Sovereignty means you make law for you, and nobody, not just that, but no one else can make a law for you that you have to obey. Not even God. Right?
Doesn't it mean?
I agree. You know, using the law of love, which is that law which places the welfare and the concern and the feelings for other people above yourself. The law of love is that close affinity with all forces that we associate with as good. The law of love is that force which denies the existence of evil in the world and resists not. And if you can stand in that essence, one can use the power of love to be a sovereign co-creator.
There's probably about a minute left.
Yeah, so when we come back, let's continue, because sovereignty is a very important issue.
Especially now.
And we're recording too.
Especially now.
Just so you know, Gil, we're recording so that we can push this up for some teachings, and Evan wanted a copy. So um,
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, why don't we just close out and start over? It's probably going to cut off in a second.
Yes. Yes. Fine.
Good breaking point. All
So
right, we're
back.
on.
So back to the question of sovereignty.
Doesn't it have something to do also with not being divided? Like no one can take parts of that sovereignty, your ability to have your free will?
Yes, that is part of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. That sovereignty comes with free will, and of course nobody can interfere with your free will, otherwise it's not free. But you have the free will to give away your free will and become a slave. So, and that's what the Satanists have done. They have tricked almost all the humans into giving away their sovereignty. And the major religions in the world, that's what they are all about. If you become part of those religions, you actually give away your sovereignty to that God who created those religions.
Well, you still have your free will to choose if you're going to obey a commandment or do an ordinance or whatever.
Yeah, except the
Yes, but then you're running the risk of punishment,
Oh, true.
right? You go to hell. If you don't follow God's commandments, you go to hell. If you follow, then you go to heaven. But this is a false kind of spirituality because it has nothing to do with your own spirit. It has to do with feeding that God entity your own energy. See what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
You are feeding your energy to that God entity through worship and prayer and every kind of, they always take your money. They are just extracting people, these religions.
think of it in terms of energy harvesting.
Mm-hmm.
Just think, George has a thing that he says that every time someone says, "Oh my God," the cash register rings and a little energy is given up to that word. A little bit at a time, and all over the planet, all the energy being under the worship of, quote, a God that wants us to bow down to it. And so the problem with humans is the humans, we give up our power by saying, "Oh, if I believe in Jesus, I'll be saved." All right, well, you have just given up everything. And like Evan was saying before, we almost unconsciously give up our consent to be.
Mm-hmm.
When you vote for a political officer, you are giving up your consent by doing that. And I remember, I don't know if it was.
No, wait. You're not giving up your consent. You are giving your consent.
Yes, correct. You're saying
you're giving up your sovereignty.
Correct.
By giving
mistake.
your consent.
So I don't remember where I picked this up or heard it. It might have been Penry or something, but he was talking about you can declare your sovereignty from the church by writing a letter and putting it in the basket. Just don't sign it. You can put a letter to the preacher that says, "I," or whoever's reads the basket, blah, 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 "I declare my sovereignty. You have no power over me," however, so forth and so on.
Yeah.
And think of that. If you were a religious person all your life and you did that, you wrote a letter and put it in the basket and said, "I'm done." That's powerful. That's releasing. That's freeing. Mm-hmm. Right. So
that's what I have done with my Declaration of Sovereignty document that I put on YouTube. Because throughout this whole lockdown, this is crazy. Like they are totally trampling on our human rights, our free will, and everything. And people are consenting to this nonsense. This is the scariest thing, that people don't even realize what's happening to them. They are being turned into slaves right now.
I know that's the thing that I've been struggling with. I've never been afraid about the virus. I've never been afraid about dying. I've never been afraid of
Totally.
what they're doing. I'm afraid of how easily people are just laying down and letting them do this. So it's hard to stand up when everyone else around you is like, oh, why aren't you wearing your mask? And because it's stupid and it's not going to help me.
And it's not even healthy.
It's not healthy. It's more harm than good, but it's a way to control us. And it's to creating the illusion that they're doing something to keep
Yeah.
us safe when
Uh,
it's doing more harm.
and it's like putting a basket on the mouth of the dog, so it doesn't bite.
And it doesn't, so you can't hear it
That,
speak.
that's the symbolism of the mask. They want you to shut up like a good little slave and take it. So
Yeah, that's a good
we
analogy.
have to we have to fight back, and the time will come in everyone's life when you're going to be confronted by a policeman or some kind of a official that's going to want to vaccinate you, or even if you go outside, if they catch you in the wrong time outside, you're going to have to talk to that policeman and declare your sovereignty to them. This is going to come down to physical, we have to prove it in
We're a
the
little,
physical. How committed are we to our own sovereignty?
yeah, we're a little lucky here because in Alaska, we are very independent and they're not stopping people or doing this kind of stuff like they are in Europe and Spain and Canada is all this crazy lockdown stuff.
Yeah,
So,
I know, but just wait. It's gonna get worse in certain places, and it's gonna come down to the fact that there is gonna be a policeman with a gun and a baton, and he's gonna start giving you orders. And that's the time to defend your sovereignty and tell them that I do not answer to you. I am a sovereign universal being, and you have no jurisdiction over me. So it's really not enough to talk about sovereignty like for even in an hour. This is something that you have to grow into and behave like a sovereign being. Okay, because you might have to talk to a police, you might have to talk to a judge in court, and you have to have the fortitude to assert your sovereignty.
Yeah,
Because those,
that's pretty heavy words. They won't just roll off the cuff in the heat of the moment.
exactly.
I
And
appreciate what you're saying. We have to embrace it and be it.
so let me give you a few examples how they trick you into in court, how to take away your sovereignty and claim jurisdiction over you. I'm sure you guys have been to court, right? You know
Yeah.
what a courtroom looks like.
Yes.
So there is the people sitting behind the bar. There is like a fence, like a wooden fence. That is called the bar. And it's very important because the judge and the bailiff and the lawyers, not the bailiff, but the judge and the lawyers, they all work for the Bar Association. Have you heard this?
Yes.
yes,
Corporation.
yep,
This is a United States corporation called the Bar Association, and it's a private corporation for profit. It has nothing to do with the state. Okay, and they are collecting money from everybody. So one of the tricks, the way they claim jurisdiction over you, is they invite you inside the court. That means you have to cross the bar.
So you're talking, the only time you cross the bar is if you're
Yes.
giving testimony on the witness stand. So
So,
what,
yes, so they invite you into the court, and if you obey, you are automatically, they have jurisdiction over you and you are a slave because you obeyed an order.
so what do you do then? How do you,
Don't cross the bar. You talk to them from outside the bar. And when they see that you have not crossed the bar, they will try to threaten you. They will try to, yeah, they threaten you with all kinds of things. So you will obey them, and you must stand your ground and talk to them from outside the bar. Because as long as you are outside the bar, they have no jurisdiction over you. This
and
is
they
very
know
important.
this? They know that
They know that. Of
they
course.
couldn't find you in contempt if the judge orders you to approach the bench
Yes,
or on the
yes.
witness stand or anything like that. You can just say, I'll tell you from here.
Yes, they know this. I have won cases in court with this approach, because if they cannot establish jurisdiction over you, they have no power over you whatsoever. They cannot arrest you. But you have to know that. If you don't know that, you will just walk in there and you think everything is fine. No, you
Well,
just give it,
how does
your rights away.
how does
Your
that relate
sovereignty.
when you're on the street and they determine you're breaking curfew or law or whatever, and they handcuff you and put you in the back of a patrol car, and once they put those handcuffs on you, you become state property. So how do you circumvent
No,
that?
no, you have to tell the cop, the police officer, also the same thing. But most police officers don't know this rule, so they will arrest you anyway.
That's
And
what I'm
then you have to deal with the judge. Now, not all of the judges know this rule either. It depends on how high of a court or how educated the judge is. So, and if the judge fines you or tramples on your rights, then you have to take it, you have to appeal it. You have to take it to an appellate court. And the higher courts, they will know this rule, mostly they will know this rule.
So even
So it's not a comfortable thing to go through this, but still this is the only way to legally defend your rights.
what are some words that you would say? I know there's certain phrases that you could share in declaring your sovereignty to some official.
Okay, so first of all, when they call your name, they ask you, is this you? Okay, please mute the iPhone, please.
I got it. Oh, there.
Yeah, he's still not muted.
Oh, yeah, he is. I muted him.
Oh, okay.
Hmm. I
So
got that.
Sherry, say something, because otherwise I see somebody else on the.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so you were saying if you
Well, they
an
call your
officer-
name. They
or they
call
call
your name first, and you have to say something about that is the false. That's the straw man, essentially.
Yes. So first of all, you don't want to answer to that name that they are calling, because that name that they are reading off of the paperwork is an all capital letters name, which is a straw man. It's not you. It's a fictitious entity, legal entity they have created in your name. And if they call that name and you answer to that name, again, they get jurisdiction over you. So you have to object to being called that name. And what I usually do is I just tell them, I am here on that matter, not that if they call my name, I don't say I am here. I say I am here on that matter. See what I mean?
Yeah, and then what do they say? What do you say if they
And,
say,
and,
well,
and then I say I am here to challenge jurisdiction and service of process.
here to challenge jurisdiction?
And service of process.
And service of process. And then what happens? What do they say to you when you say that? Especially if you have a judge that...
Well, at this point, since I'm not crossing the bar and I say these things, at this point, the judge already knows what I am up to. So at this point, they will try different trickery to get you to obey something. And if you obey them, then you become a slave, because masters don't obey. See what I mean?
Yes.
only,
Yes.
only slaves obey. This is a mind game. See, you have to understand this mind game and how to play this mind game in court. If you can play this mind game well, you can defeat the judge in court, in his own court, and the judge will bow to you
And
after you have defeated them. What?
You've had that happen? Where...
No, I didn't have any judge bow to me, but I've seen a video where the judge actually bowed to the sovereign after losing the case. And but I had the judges ask me who is teaching me, because I handled myself really well in court, and she wanted to know who is teaching me, and I just told her I teach myself.
Where do you live?
At that time, I was living in California.
Oh, wow.
Now I live in Costa Rica.
Oh.
So this is a very important. You guys need to learn about common law and natural law and contract law.
Common law, natural law, and contract law?
Yes. So common law is the law of the land in the USA, and every republic in the world.
I thought we were the only one.
No, no. English common law is a very good law, and many countries have adopted it. Every republic is a common law country.
Well, my question was, I thought the United States of America was the only republic, a true republic.
No.
Which, no?
Well, there are no true republics. Even the USA is not a true republic, but by name and by law they are. But they don't live by their own laws.
Well, yeah, because we've adulterated them and corrupted them, and you know,
you know who did that? The Bar Association. It's the Bar Association that did that. See, it's like the same thing, like between the true light and the false light paradigm. We have the true law, which is the common law, and we have the false laws, which is the statutory regulations that the corporations live by.
well, that's how we've lost a lot of our rights, because these people that have been not virtuous men that have been trying to get certain laws passed, if they couldn't get people to vote on it or whatever, then they started routing it through to the judicial system. And I think some of these judges, they must be from some other planet or something, because
No,
some of the
yeah, they are
robots are
bought
getting
off.
outrageous.
Yeah, they are bought off and they are possessed by AI or demons or whoever. So,
So, okay,
but they have to respect the law. If you play the game properly, they have to respect the law, because otherwise they become dishonored within their own profession, and they don't want that. But they will do their best to defeat you.
well, yeah, because they like their control, because normally people just lay down and play dead dog.
Yeah,
So they
exactly,
are not used to having anybody challenge or question them.
exactly.
So what do you refer to as the natural law?
Natural law is the common sense law that emanates from your being. Everybody knows what is right and what is wrong, or at least they should know.
So you're thinking it more like a moral compass, more of that
Yes,
internal. Okay.
exactly. That's the natural law, an internal moral compass, or a moral center, they call it. And
And then,
it's all about not hurting other beings. Do no harm. That is the most important law in the universe. Do no harm. And it covers every aspect of life.
the contract law would be um, between individual people, not like going before a judge or something like that,
Yes.
or
So the first thing to know about contract law is that you can have contract only between similar entities. Like if you are a natural flesh and blood human being, then you can have a contract with a natural flesh and blood human being. But you cannot have a contract with a dissimilar entity, which is, for example, a corporation. So you, as a flesh and blood human being, cannot have a contract with a corporation.
so you're saying that's our angle, because the court is a bar association, it's a corporation, and because I would be a private sovereign person,
Exactly.
I can
Exactly.
argue that they don't have jurisdiction over me because I'm not the same as
Exactly.
them. Okay.
Exactly. So when you put yourself in a common law jurisdiction, they literally have no jurisdiction over you. But the way they overcame this problem, they have created a legal fiction for everyone, which is the straw man that I was talking about. Your name spelled with all capital letters is your straw man, which is your corporate fiction, but it's not you. But see, if you confuse yourself with that corporate fiction, then you are in error. And that automatically makes you a slave, because you don't know who you are. See how it works?
Yeah.
I was
If you
Yeah.
gonna,
don't know who you are, if you don't know who you are lost at sea, and any corporation can claim you as a um, uh, salvage.
salvage.
Then
Salvage.
yeah,
Okay, I'm already offended.
exactly. If you don't know who you are, then your vessel, which is your body, is lost at sea, and by way of maritime law, anybody can claim your body as a salvage operation.
So this also goes back to your birth certificate. If you
Yes,
think of the terminology, there's some videos on this, Sherry. If you think of terminology that you go through the birthing canal or the birth canal, What do ships do? They berth, and you are delivered.
Yes.
You are a package. You're delivered, and then there's other things, and even probably knows way more. But there's several people have gone through this. What is maritime law? Why are these terms used, etc. So it's great. Thank you for. I love this. This is really good review for me because I haven't addressed this in a long time. Thank you.
Well, it's really good for me, my first time.
Yeah. So I'm giving you guys the very condensed version of this because it took me 10 years to learn all this. And I spent a lot of time learning about law. So I'm just giving it to you in a nutshell.
And this is universal. So wherever we might be picked up, this would be universal in any state, any country, any territory or anything.
This works everywhere where there is a, what do you call it, republic.
Okay.
But most countries on the planet are republics. But then they corrupted it with democracy.
Yeah. Which makes me very frustrated because we were founded as a true republic, and then the evil ones wanted to. A lot of people don't even know that we're a republic. They think we're a democracy.
Mm-hmm.
That's how polluted our system has become. And now it's like we're like China because we get propaganda every day. We get bombarded with lies and
Yeah.
if I hear we're doing this to keep you safe one more time, I will probably vomit.
And it's the communists that have corrupted the American system with the purpose of enslaving the whole country and ruining it. And they have done a very good job.
Yes.
And if Trump didn't get elected last time, it would have been finished. No more USA.
I know, that's what worries me. I think he has been a bright light, and everything they put that poor man through just because he ruined their plan.
Mhm.
They put his family in, the horrible things they said. He's got a little kid, he shouldn't have to go through that with all that stuff with his dad, and his kids have been, investigated to the upteenth.
That's why they hate him because Trump put a monkey wrench into their 50-year plan to ruin the United States and take it over by way of corporations.
Yeah. So how do we, like, I worry all the time about this next election coming up. They've already, in these stimulus bills, they've been putting in that they don't have to have voter ID. And I think there was something in there about letting illegals vote and people just out of prison vote. So it looks like they're doing everything they can to manipulate this upcoming election in November, in 6 months from now. So do you have any insights into what we can do to help, I don't even know, help get to strengthen him, or, to make sure he gets reelected?
Well,
Because like other countries like Cuba, I've talked to people from Cuba, and they said, we had a wonderful country. Then Castro came in, communism came in, and we lost everything. And we fled. We went to America. But if we go down, where do we go? We have, there's no place for us to go for refuge.
well, you can vote for him, and you can talk to people about what we are talking about today. because without the USA Constitution, all of this is meaningless. The communists will completely abolish all of this. Rights, human rights, Constitution, Bill of Rights. You're not going to have any of it.
And we couldn't try this sovereign thing in a communist court. They would probably shoot us on spot, right?
You can try, but it will be much harder because they don't have any documents to support it.
Right.
It would still work on the universal level, but they might shoot you anyway. You know?
Yeah.
Because we are dealing with criminals. They don't follow the law. The communists.
Are they, what are they AIs? Are they other people from other planets that are not benevolent? How did that come into being?
What?
Communism and the people that are supporting that. Are they people, or are they, some Palladian, I don't know, not Palladians, I think they're the nice ones, but some alien from some other matrix?
It's the God entity who is the head of the false light paradigm that's doing all this. And he's using artificial intelligence to further his goals.
So the God entity is bringing in communism?
Yeah. No, he's bringing in all these isms that are different from the natural order, nature. All of this stuff is he's doing because he wants conflict. The more things people have to fight about, the better for him, because we are killing each other and not focusing on what he's doing.
Well, he has certainly become masterful lately. I mean, there are so many things people are fighting about: black, white, left, right, up, down.
Yeah, give me 1 minute, I'll be right back.
What do you think, Jimmy?
Yeah, I see it as there's a lot of fabric and there's a lot of color on this tapestry we're weaving our way through, and there's a lot of rabbit holes. And George and Even, they have a real I'm happy to have Even here because we were talking I could tell from the WhatsApp chat that he's really on his game and really helping a lot of people.
Well, thank you for what you're sharing with us tonight. Thank you for all your hard work and focus.
We are grateful.
You're very welcome. I'm happy to share. My problem is I don't get a lot of chances to share what I know. I have done a lot of searching and studying in the last 20 years, and
well, we'll do some more recordings because it's good stuff for people.
Yeah, good pick on the subject today, sovereignty. That's like the top of the line issue right now. And human rights violations. This whole lockdown is just a human rights violation through and through. I mean, you have the right for movement, and that's a pre-existing right, and nobody can legislate away your pre-existing rights. So all of these legislations that they are coming out with, they are completely fraudulent and illegal. And actually, they are null and void from creation.
There is something called the Commerce Clause. I'll share with you guys. I don't know if you've ever heard or know of Martin Armstrong. He's he spent a lot of years in jail without ever going to trial, and uh, he writes about the Commerce Clause and how this is wrong. But he's a financial guy. He's basically the smartest financial guy on the planet. I'll share his stuff later.
And would you say his name is Mark Armstrong?
I'm sorry, we're probably gonna cut off here in about 3 minutes or 2 minutes.
How
But
does the time go by so fast?
Are you kidding me? How many minutes we have so far?
we're at 37 right now since I started
Really?
recording. So it's
I
just
can,
yeah. So yeah, as time goes by, I have to buy a Zoom account. So
how much is that?
I don't know. I gotta look it up. Not too much.
I think it's different amounts depending on how big your group and how many meetings and how
Right.
long.
There's a better way to do it on a platform called Discus, and it's private. It's more secure. Zoom is owned by the Chinese, so they're recording everything that we people do on here. It's just another surveillance system.
But you said it was encrypted.
Yeah, Discus, DIS, Discord. It's called Discord, and it's an app. You put it on your computer. I started it with a friend of mine, but I'm learning. I don't know how to use it, and you have to have friends already on there, and then you can connect, and only up to 10 people. But it's a much more secure and private way to do these things. I'm not sure. Yeah, I got to look into it. Discord is what it's called. I called it Discus. But we can sign off and sign on again. It's probably about soon to cut off. Sorry about
Yeah,
that.
I think I'm pretty much done. I'm getting pretty tired. It's 11 right now.
Yeah. Oh, me too. Well, you're only 2 hours.
Yeah. I thought you'd be way different time frame. I thought maybe it might be morning there or
Now,
something.
Costa Rica's in central time zone, and then Brazil is further east than New York. The edge of Brazil is way east. Well, anyway, hey, we'll sign off. A great conversation, and I'll work on
Yeah,
making
let's
this.
let's do this again.
Yeah,
sometime.
we have this slot from Monday this time, or we could start earlier for you if you want. But Monday typically is a day that I'm doing a class or a discussion like this.
Mhm.
So sovereignty will continue, and we'll get more people.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you
Yeah.
again. It was
Yeah,
nice to meet you.
thank you guys. Nice to meet you
Yeah,
all.
appreciate